Have you ever wondered why some realtors struggle at making money in the business, and then where there's others that it seems to come a little bit easier? And then there's kind of that disparity between the agent who's making 50, 60, 70, even $100,000 a year, which isn't bad income. And then you have these mega producers that are making $1 million, 1.5, 2 million, $5 million. What's the difference? The difference is skills. And it's really important we understand that. Skills is something that is not easy to come by. You have to put effort in attaining of these skills. Most of the time, the agents that are doing less than, if their desire is to do a high level of production, a good percentage of the time it's because they are not skilled enough. Now, I get it. Please take no offense to this, because some of you're okay with being there. However, if your goal is to go from 50 to 100 to 200 to 500, heck, $1 million plus, you have to work in this area. Now, this is something you have the control of. You have the benefit of being able to master your craft. And I talk about this all of the time. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about memorizing, yes, the infamous word scripts. Why is it an infamous word? Because it's kind of this taboo word in the industry. There are some realtors that hate the word scripts, some agents that hate the idea of being in a script. However, the top producers, the larger percentage of them, understand the benefit of scripts. Why? Because it allows you to control a conversation. It allows you the opportunity when someone says something for you to be in a position where you can be able to have a rebuttal, have something that's going to be a little bit more of a proper response, I guess, for lack of better words. Now, what I want to talk about today is how to study scripts. Now, I know it sounds something basic, but there's a little bit of a methodology behind this. And again, there's so many different ways to go about this. One of the main benefits for me when I was a producer was focusing on my skills. That's one thing I had control of. So the very first thing I want you to do to master your skills is I want you to record a script. Okay. Now, when you record the script, I want you to record it verbatim. Now, this is important. Why? Because a lot of times realtors, they'll change up the script and they don't realize that by the altering of the one word in this question, another word over there, it becomes a completely different script. Now, let me give you an example. Okay. When a question is asked, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, how about yourself? When are you planning on moving? Okay. Well, you'll hear an amateur agent, they'll say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, how about yourself? Are you thinking about selling your home? Sounds similar, but you'll notice if you go to the first version that I gave you, the first version is not going to allow them the opportunity to say yes or no. And we don't want a yes or no in this particular instance because we want them to be able to elaborate. When do you plan on moving? I don't know, I haven't thought about it. It gives us something different than a yes or no. Now, I'm not saying yes or no questions are bad. Yes or no questions are good if you know how to use them. But that's an example how agents can manipulate some of the scripts and take something that is so powerful and then just make it basic. Okay? But what I want you to do is I want you to record. That's step number one. Record the script verbatim. Now, the next thing I want you to do is go back and replay it. Now, when you replay it, you can go at it a couple of different ways. Most of the times the scripts are going to be anywhere from 30 to 45 seconds if you do it efficiently. When you go back and replay it, I'm going to encourage you to listen to it at a 1.5, and if you can, 1.5 to 2 times speed. Why? Because all I want you to do is memorize. I don't want you to worry about tonality. I don't want you to worry about anything else. I just want you to memorize the script. Okay? Once you memorize the script, you'll get the opportunity to be able to internalize the script. What's the difference? Well, memorization is knowing the words. Internalization is making those words your own. Let me give you an example. One of my personal favorite scripts is that of the Mike Ferry Just Listed script. A memorized version of that is, hi, my name is Robert. I'm with Premier Realty Group. The reason I'm calling you is because we just listed a property for sale over on Banana Street. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home. We just listed it for $500,000. That's not bad. Internalized. Hi, I'm looking for Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Hi, Mr. Jones. My name is Robert. I'm with Premier Realty Group. And the reason I'm calling you is we have this beautiful property right around the corner from you over on Main Street. We have it listed at a great price of $500,000. And Mr. and Mrs. Jones, my question to you is, who do you know that like to move here into our area? Memorization, internalization. So I want you to go back and listen to yourself over and over and over and over and keep replaying it. The replaying of it is going to ideally be, think about when you were back in middle school, high school, junior high school, and you're trying to memorize that song. It's the same thing. I just want you to remember the words. We can work on later on the internalization of that. That's going to come with tonality, rate of speech, mirroring and matching, all of these good things is going to help you to have a more lengthened conversation. The next thing I want you to do is role play. Okay? Now, some of the best realtors will role play once or twice a day. Okay? The problem with that though is that you're only practicing it once or twice in a day at best. And if that's 5 times a week, maybe you're getting in 5 to 10 practices a week. It's not enough. That's why I'm saying you have to be able to not only record, you have to be able to replay, and then number 3 is you have to be able to role play. So doing those things is going to help you in the studying of the scripts. Okay? Now, the other thing is when you're on the phones or you're on the doors and you're knocking, you're prospecting, you're going through, in most cases in 1 hour, you're probably talking for about 20 minutes. Heck, let's say you're having a great hour of prospecting and you're talking for 30 minutes. Well, my question to you is, what are you doing in the other 30 minutes? Again, prospecting for 1 hour, talking for a half hour. What are you doing with the other half? Are you on social media? Are you looking at your texts, your emails, responding to phone calls, all that other good stuff, talking to your assistant, talking to other people? Or are you using that extra 20, 30, even 40 minutes on the listening of the scripts? How about just simply practicing it in between calls and between doors? So practice it while you are prospecting. That's a great thing to do. Now, how about having a dedicated time? Half hour here, an hour there. I personally always like the idea of I don't know who came up with this, but the idea of a mobile university. Meaning when I got in my car, I never listened to music. I'm not saying I don't listen to music. I'm just saying in the car, I used it as a mobile university. I would always use that time to study my scripts, listen to a book, so on and so forth, podcasts. But in this particular instance, I'm talking about using dedicated time to study your skills. So I'm gonna encourage you to separate time. And it could be, okay, I'm gonna do 15 minutes at 6:30 in the morning. I'm gonna do 30 minutes at 12 o'clock at lunch. I'm gonna do another hour at the end of my workday at 5 o'clock. If you're a brand new or newer agent or are learning the scripts, I'm gonna encourage you to spend minimum, keyword minimum, 2 hours a day. Why? Because again, that's the difference between an agent that's doing okay business and an agent that's doing great business. That's usually the skill set. Last but not least, how about writing them down? Okay, just think about it. Just go back, write the script, write it over, write it over, write it over. I know it's hard work, okay? Sometimes our hands will hurt. But when you got that extra 0 on the correct side in your bank account, you're gonna thank me for that. So today's topic is how to study scripts. Now this is important because the more masterful you are in this, the better you are in your craft, the better you are in your craft, the better are gonna be your results. And of course, the better your results, your bank account, and for that matter, your loved ones are gonna thank you. That's our class for today. See you at the top.